Once there was a famous stone carver whose hands were rough and worn. He lived a simple life at the edge of a busy city. The rich and powerful came to his door from all across the land, but many left without what they came for, because this stone carver had one rule that no amount of money could change: good work cannot be hurried. One morning, a wealthy merchant arrived at his door. The merchant told the stone carver that he needed the finest statue the city had ever seen. He offered to pay double the usual rate, but said he needed it done in just 3 days. The stone carver looked up from the stone he had been shaping for weeks. He told the merchant calmly and simply that 3 days was not enough time for good work. The merchant was not happy. He reminded the stone carver that he was offering more money than he would normally see in an entire month. He wanted to know what was holding him back. The stone carver put down his small sharp carving tool and explained that stone does not care about anyone's plans. He told the merchant that stone shows itself slowly and it cannot be hurried. Hearing this, the merchant felt a flash of anger, but something in the old carver's calm and steady look made him stop. He requested the stone carver to teach him. He wanted to understand why any man would say no to such a generous offer. The stone carver pointed to a rough block of stone sitting in the corner and asked the merchant to tell him what he saw. The merchant looked at it and said it was simply a rock. The stone carver told him to look closer. The merchant walked slowly around the stone, running his fingers along its rough outside. He looked carefully, but told the stone carver that he still saw nothing but stone. The stone carver smiled gently. He explained that the merchant was looking with only his eyes. He himself looked with his hands and his patience. He told the merchant that inside that rough block of stone there was perhaps a dancing girl, or a sleeping lion, or a mother holding her child, but he would not know which one until he spent time listening to what the stone wanted to become. The stone knows what it is capable of becoming. His only work was to be still enough to hear it. The merchant sat down slowly on a wooden stool. His rush and hurry began to fade away. The stone carver picked up his half-finished bird and told the merchant that he had worked this way for 20 years. Some days he removed only a handful of dust, but he had never once rushed, and he had never once felt sorry about any sculpture he had made. He turned the bird slowly in the light as he spoke. He told the merchant that this particular piece had already taken 3 weeks, and it might take 3 more, but when it was finished, someone would stand before it and remember what it felt like to hope. And that, he said quietly, was worth far more than speed. The merchant looked down at his own hands, hands that were always reaching for the next deal. He said quietly that he had built an empire in 10 years, but he could not remember the last time he had truly felt present in his own life. The stone carver looked at him with kind and gentle eyes. He told the merchant that he had been moving too fast to hear what his own life was trying to say to him. Just like stone, he said softly, the soul knows what it is capable of becoming, but only stillness can bring it out. From that day on, the merchant began to move through his life in a different way. He stopped filling every hour with deals and began leaving space for thought, for stillness, for listening. He started noticing things he had never noticed before. His helpers worried at first, but something good happened. The choices he made slowly proved wiser. The people around him felt heard. His business did not shrink. It grew bigger and stronger than ever before. And one morning, many months later, he stood in the stone carver's workshop and looked at the finished bird, wings fully spread, frozen mid-flight in stone, and felt something he had not felt in years: peace. He asked the stone carver how he had known it would all turn out this way. The stone carver smiled and said simply that he had not known. He had only trusted that it would, because the stone always knows what it is capable of becoming, and so does the heart that is patient enough to wait. Friends, here is the lesson this story carries. In a world that moves too fast, we forget that good things take time. The finest things in life, wisdom, love, skill, and peace, are not built quickly. They are found through waiting, paying attention, and trusting the path ahead. When you rush, you see only the outside. When you slow down, you find what was always waiting beneath. Take a moment today to ask yourself, what am I rushing that deserves my patience? Perhaps it is a relationship, a creative project, your own healing. Slow down and give it the time it deserves. If this story spoke to you, please like it and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Thank you, God, for everything. May you find stillness in your striving and meaning in your pace.